Well, going back to one of our top stories today, now President Biden is meeting Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, to discuss the debt ceiling. Joining us to discuss is Georgia Congressman and member of the House Appropriations Committee, Representative Andrew Clyde. Congressman, happy to have you with us here. Tell us what you expect today at this first meeting of McCarthy and President Biden.
Well, thank you for having me on this afternoon. Well, I'll tell you that I expect the president to begin to negotiate. I mean, I believe that's reasonable. I believe it's responsible. I think that's the proper thing to do. They're asking for a blind debt ceiling increase with no strings attached and no path ahead, no plan on how they're going to spend this additional, whatever it ends up being, but something $1 trillion of increase to the national debt. Now, I just think that's irresponsible. So I think that the Speaker is going to go there with a very strong hand, a strong negotiating position, a pretty unified Republican conference behind him. And I think that out of that meeting, they're going to have, I believe, President Biden at a place where he will negotiate.
And what's on the table? Obviously, we're not in the room, so we don't know. And we consider this kind of an opening gambit from both sides. But what should be on the table in your mind? What should be cut or considered to be on the chopping block?
Well, first, I think we need to look at the overall concept of being responsible, fiscally responsible in the federal government. I think that needs to be the focus of what we're going to do here. I don't think there should be a debt ceiling increase without a plan to come to a balanced budget and start paying off our debt. I mean, if you go and ask to borrow money from the bank, aren't they going to ask you for a plan on how you're going to pay that money back? I believe that is the case for every solitary citizen in the United States. So that should be the case for the government. There needs to be a plan on how do we lower that debt ceiling. I think that's the right way to go.
Yeah, President Biden was saying to reporters that he expected McCarthy to, well, show me his budget, show me his budget. Do you have any idea what the Speaker will be bringing to the president specifically?
Well, I think that question needs to be turned around on President Biden. President Biden's budget is due next Monday, and from what we understand, it's going to be over a month late. So, you know, I think that that Congress should have input from the president when it comes to his budget priorities, but yet he's not willing to give us a budget on time. Our budget's not due next Monday, his is. So I think that's a demand that that we should have, that all of the entire Republican conference should have on the president. Show us your budget, show us your priorities, and then let's get to work.
As they say, it'll be dead on arrival, but it'll be a starting point, I'm sure, in the future. Congressman Andrew Clyde, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.